morning, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of The Next Level Live. We'll get right into those numbers this morning. In February week 3, we issued paid $6,420,000 in life, bringing our February month-to-date in volume to $22,260,000, and our 2024 year-to-date grand total in volume at $55,744,000. We would love to give a quick shout out to all of our VPs that received bonuses in January. The total bonus that was paid out to our VPs was $3,016,064, and we had 133 agents in total receive a bonus. Congrats to you all. Great work. As always, we do have some agents to shout out today. We featured agent Amila Smalabegovic with FFL Elevated Financial. Amelia is being recognized for recently helping 74 families. Great work, Amelia. This week for our Rising Star, we featured agent Johnson Ama with FFL Gulf Coast. Johnson is being recognized for helping 56 families in just 1 month. Love to hear it, Johnson. In regards to our cruise, we already have our first round of qualifiers. A big congratulations to Syed M at 102 points, Simon S at 134 points, Arij T at 143 points, and at the top of the list, Kevin D at 150 points. As a reminder, to qualify, you must have issue paid $100K in life and or IUL between February 1st and May 1st. We can't wait to see you all there. Coming up next, we've got Inside the Sale with Shawn, Meaike, and Frank Eufemia. Enjoy.
Welcome to Next Level Live. Really honored to be here with you today. Got my buddy Frank Eufemia with me. How you?
I've never been better. How are you?
I've never been better as well. It's hard to respond to that when somebody else said.
I know.
All right, so we're gonna get right into it. We come off an amazing convention. You know that is my 10th, and you know I've never. You know me really well. I didn't last year and the year before say that was the. I think they were all good, but I was never like that's the best convention I've been to because I don't know. Like I could probably tell you the second year and then the first time in Vegas.
Yeah.
This year's convention was the best we ever had.
Agreed.
Well, first of all, why do you, and I've heard that from a lot of people. I know it from me because I'm very involved in them from the start, the minute it starts, the minute it's over. Why do you believe it was the best event ever?
Excitement. I mean, up until this year, 2018, I think it was the first year in Vegas when we came down on the escalators and there were like 3,000 people, and we were all like, wow. Mm-hmm. But the crowd was so jacked, and this year I felt that same energy. There were so many new people just excited out of their mind. They sat in their seats the entire time they were learning. It was just, it was an energy, you know what I mean? And you can't replace that.
You know, I always like to hear from people that, like when you look at the speakers we had, you know, Goggins, Shannon Sharp, Barbara Corcoran, and multitudes of other, Alex Morton, they each told me that they've never been in front of a crowd that excited, right? Now, they're used to, they speak at all kinds of events. And then they said, especially in financial services. Because you assume that financial services is boring and dull and nobody wants to. So I think the speakers were unbelievable. I think the people that work here, everybody was unbelievable. I heard a lot of people say it was great to hear people's stories, but get them in those 10-minute blocks because you get you get a lot of meat in there, a lot of information. You know what I mean? And so we're really, you know, I think, and also just the excitement of new people. If you want to know if we're excited, we contracted the week after convention, contracted 1,200 people.
Wow.
New people. And we've not done, you know, there's been weeks a long time that we may have hit, but 1,200 for a week. New people. Like not people got an additional contract here,
right.
1,200 new people.
Yeah.
And I think a couple things are happening, and I want to talk about this. I think that, first of all, we're really excited about the producer cruise, so if you've not, please promote that, talk about it. Everybody had a freaking blast. We'd love to have more people there. It was great to see so many excited people on the ship. But I think that one of the mistakes I made, and you make plenty, running a company, running an agency, do what you're doing, is I never really was in full grasp of how amazing we could be if we could meet about every need a client had. And I mean every need. If we could sit down, and what we've learned with IUL business is a lot of folks are writing that IULE and writing this IUL business in lieu of writing the term. Now you go, what do you want me to do? I want people to write whatever they want to write. If the guy or girl is 27 years old and you're talking to them and they're looking at the policy, the ability to earn some cash value, they're looking for permanency beyond a term, and they're looking for more than their money back, and you want to sell it to them, and it makes sense for them, that's what they want, do it. You know, we're still going to have folks that are 60, 70, 80, and they're final expense clients, right? One of our issues has been that we have millions and millions and millions of clients. And all these guys and girls that are above the age of 50 should be thinking about what they're doing for their retirement, right? I don't care if they've saved up 48 grand to their name or they have 4.8 million. They need to be thinking about their retirement. And so we're doing a lot with mortgage protection, which could be the IUL business. We're still going to do plenty of final expense. We're literally, I was talking to Zach the other day, and we're going to do 200 million in paid IUL business this year, minimally. And that makes us, I mean, if you're in the IUL business and we weren't really in it and you were number one, I apologize, because there's a new number one and it's us. Like, so just, I'm not mad at y'all. We go to these meetings, like, how much does he do? How much is that? Always like, how much does the number one group do? They're like, 70 million. I'm like, no, the number one group. Yeah. Like 70. I'm like, no, the number one group. Like, we just, so, and we want to get there with annuities. We know that we can do billions of dollars a year in annuity volume, because the thing for me that kept me in the business when I started was the diversification. Health, all the products you can imagine we have under this umbrella. Now, early on, Frank, we were in survival mode.
Right.
2 years ago when Shotty's like, I'm going to sell IULs, I'm like, why? Like, but my history, you understand, I was brought up in this business where you wrote an IUL and you waited 3, 4, 5, 6 months for a tissue. It was, everybody got a medical, blood, urine, they would do EKGs. And my clients, a lot of them after 2 months were like, dude, I just lost interest. Like, I'm not mad at you, but I'm not going for the test. Then I got to get this doctor. I had a doctor 12 years ago, and they want to stay with him. And I understand the insurance carrier's position. I understood everybody's position. But I'm like, dude, I can't go out and meet with 10 people in a week and write 8 people something I don't hear about for full months. I can't do that. I didn't realize how much the industry had evolved and what they've done. And these products, and we love what we have with Mutual Home. We love what we have with NLG, with F&G, with North American. And, you know, Frank, you and I talked probably 6, 7, 8 months ago. And I said, man, when we got in the business, we wrote annuities. I wasn't writing 10, 15, $20 million of annuities every year, but I was writing an annuity a month. My average annuity was like 250 grand. Right. So I'd issue 2.5 to 4 or 5 million a year in annuity volume. But it paid me. I wasn't worried about the persistency. Like, unless somebody died real fast, like they didn't charge it back. The IUL persistency is through the roof. So if you're only selling, we had a lot of people join us lately, and I'm like, why'd you leave the company you're at? They're like, well, they don't sell IULs, and we see how much higher the persistency is, we see what the premiums are, and we said that these clients really excited about the product, and you guys have a way to create a lot of IUL leads. And we're like, yeah, we do. A lot of people work here to do it. ILC is unbelievable, Integrity's been unbelievable. But we really think that, like on the annuity side, you know, we have 6,500 to 7,000 agents every month get paid on a life insurance policy. How many agents get paid every month on an annuity? 100. So we actually have the greatest capacity to scale this thing. We're going to. And we will go from doing a couple $100 million to doing $1 billion plus a year easy. Because we already have all the clients. We already have all the leads. We just need to empower people to go out there and ask questions. I'm going to ask Frank to talk about this for a few minutes. But I'm telling you that for me, there's a few things that struck me when I got into the business that never left me. I had a guy named John ask me. He asked me if I sold any annuities. Mm-hmm. And I said, no. I was like 3 months in. He said, why don't you believe in protecting people's retirements? And I said, well, what would you ask them? Because I didn't grow up with any money. I didn't grow up with anybody talking about retirements. I didn't grow up with any of that. What would you suggest I do? And he said, I want you to sit down with every one of your clients when you're done and say, now that we've taken care of your life insurance needs, I need to talk to you about what we do for retirement protection. I said, okay. He said, ask them if they're a saver or an investor. Like straight up. And then they all would say an investor because they want to feel good. And then he said, when they say that, ask them how much of their money can they afford to lose. Because investing means you have to be able to deal with some risk, right? That's what's going to happen. And I started asking that. I didn't even know what I hadn't even written. Started asking the questions, and I didn't push. I asked questions. I wrote my life policy for whatever it was a year. I was already happy. I kind of did what I was supposed to do. Had your banking information. You had insurance. I was already getting paid.
Right.
So finally, I went to one place and I asked, and then I really asked because they already had final expense whole life. They got like a year and a half ago, and they had some significant health problems since then. So I was like, hold on to what you have for dear life.
Right.
Because I don't do nothing wrong with people's life insurance. Like, we don't do that. It's not how we participate at all. So if you like to turn business, do the wrong thing, you don't want to work here, we won't tolerate it. So I was like, yeah, really, you just need to hold on to what you got. Man, you both got 25 grand, and if I write you had cancer this time, like you have this, I'm just not going to, like, here's what you're going to get. I can get you something, but you definitely don't want to mess with life. And I just asked them, and they both said investor. And I said, how much you willing to lose? And they both said, we don't like to lose. And then they said, that's why we don't like what's happening with our 401k. To which I assumed they didn't have any money, because I had no money.
Sure.
And growing up, and then they lived in a trailer. Mm-hmm. So I assumed when I lived in subsidized apartments, none of us were rich.
Right.
So I was like, none of us have money. Like, these people have both worked at a company, J.C. Penney, for 50 years plus. And she's like, yeah, I got my 401k. I've lost like 30 grand this year. I'm like, 30 grand? I didn't think I had 30 grand.
Right.
And then she told me she had a 401k that had just dipped below $1 million in value. So I was like, if I could show you a way to protect it, that you don't lose any money, and when the market goes up, you share in some of those gains, but you can't lose anymore.
Sure.
Would you be interested? She was like, absolutely. And then he's like, I got one too. He was like, it's like 150. And I wrote that. And then when I got paid, because I'd get paid whatever I got paid on my life insurance policies. And I remember, and my comp wasn't that great, right?
Right.
But I'm like, dude, I got like $52,000.
Right.
And I was like, this is 52 grand that won't charge back. And I'm protecting their retirement. So that got me rabid, and my goal was to write one annuity a month. If we can get half our agents to write one annuity a month, we go from 100 to 3,000, 4,000 agents a month. We would do billions and billions of dollars of annuity money. So Frank, if you don't know Frank, he's been here since the day we started the company. He's one of the best sales trainers I've ever had. Matter of fact, you were kind of the guy that really was a mortgage return of premium kind of. I always like guru, because the way he explained it, I was like, that makes sense. And now you're doing a ton to help spearhead simple retirement solutions and FIAs, fixed index annuities.
Yeah.
So can you talk to everybody that's on here? Because obviously the majority of people don't. So we're not talking about, like, the majority of people just don't do it. I mean, there's some amazing things that will help you on their SRS side. So if you could kind of just chat with them, because guys, we want you to be as well-rounded, as profitable as you can be. What we've realized over the last year or two, there's so many amazing people in this industry that are not making good money. And then we're like, the more products you put in place with family, the more of a meaningful, specific you are in their lives, which means your quality of business will be better, your profitability will be better, and your ability to attract and recruit more people will be better.
Yeah.
And there's folks that work at companies like, we only sell final expense, well, that's done. We only do mortgage section, that's done. We only do, and it's like, and for us, we kind of keep watching mortgage section leads, and it's like, dude, buckle up. The rates do what they do.
Yeah.
And good luck with that. So walk us through some of the things we got at FFL for them on the simple retirement solution side, and anything you want to provide or add to these guys about annuities and increasing their income.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Of course.
Obviously, it's always an honor to be on these calls. I have been here since day one and watched the evolution of the company, and it's pretty amazing to see where we've come in the last 10 years when everybody was pulling against us. And I think that's what sets us apart. And that's what I was talking to Steve about last night. I'm going like, dude, he goes, I was in a meeting with another group, and I asked the room, I said, how many of y'all have ever been in a fight or punched in the face? And he was like, nobody raised their hand. I said, dude, you asked that question here, half the room at least will raise their hand. I said, dude, we're a different breed here. Once they buy into something, it's a wrap, and it will happen here. And I think, Shawn, for me, with the annuities, it's I ran in Baltimore City. So, like, it wasn't a great city. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of struggling people, blue collar, need to keep everything.
Yeah, it wasn't an insanely wealthy community where everybody was sitting on millions of dollars.
Nope. But what they had, whether it was 50 grand, whether it was 150 grand or 500 grand, like, that was their life savings. And I just remember the first time I wrote, my first client was my dad, obviously the toughest client I ever had, which was good because he asked a gazillion questions, as he should have, because he knew I didn't know what I was doing. Mm-hmm. So I learned a lot in that. But the first client I ever helped was a young lady No, the first client was a big one. That was a guy that had no teeth. It was a similar story. He had $750,000. I thought he had $750. But the next client was a young lady who was taking medication that was saving her life, and she's got an old IRA that's dwindling because her guy advising it was a scumbag. I mean, literally a scumbag. She's in all this high risk stuff, and go like, why are you in this? And she goes, well, he tells me I'm going to run out of money. And I looked at it. We put it into a lifetime income, and she was about to stop taking the medication because she's like, I'm going to run out of money, and I'm going to die anyway broke. I at least want to leave something to my kids. I'm like, well, what if we could show you a way, protect what you have, give you lifetime income, and not guaranteed, but give you a higher probability that you'll leave something to your children, and then you don't have to stop taking your meds. She's like, that would be amazing. But that lady still calls me every year and just thanks me. And it's like stuff like that. I think, dude, when you look at the top people in this business, yes, we all do this to make money, Shawn, but we do this because we want to help people. And there's no better way. For me, there's no better way. The market is so volatile, especially over the last few years. This year's an election year. People are scared. So it will be like shooting fish in a barrel. All you got to do is ask the question. So I think a lot of people are, and just like I was nervous, like I can't, like, dude, I got a high school education. I went to college. I sold weed and played spades in the cafeteria, right? So I dropped out after my first semester. I'm going like, these people aren't going to trust me because I'm not going to be able to answer all their financial questions. But then I started realizing and researching, going like, dude, these are pretty simple. It can do three things. The market, go up, go down, stay the same. This one can do two. It can go up or stay the same. How easy is that? So once I think people understand how simple these truly are, they'll grasp it, and we'll start writing, instead of 100 a month, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 a month, because it services the clients best. So we have all kinds of systems in place. I mean, we have the Ask a Specialist, which is simply you go online, submit a request, say, hey, I got a client that's 60, he's got a 401k, he's looking for, income for the rest of his life, not married, here's a statement, boom, and we'll give you exactly what you need to go out and help the client. You also could ask one of our specialists, part of the SRS team. We got David Allen, Brad Allen, Danielle Byrne, Jesse Hantley, Spencer Fagioni, and now John Gavin, and they'll walk you through the whole process, do it for you. All you got to do is sit and watch and get paid. I'm going like, dude, and with all due respect, I wrote my dad's annuity, and it wasn't the best product. And it wasn't the best product
because you didn't know.
I didn't know, and the guy telling me
advised you to do something.
Yeah, because the product paid more for him, and now again, it was a fixed index annuity, so my dad's not in bad shape, but he could have been better. And I'm going like, if I'd had that option back then, because I didn't care about the money. I'm making sure my dad and my mom were correct. I did it in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? And so I'm going like, this option for where you can absolutely just sit back and not have to know anything and just watch somebody that's done this hundreds of times go, here's what we do, here's how we're going to do it, watch me do it, watch me fill out the app. It's a home run. Dude, it truly is. And you can do that one time, you can do it 10 times. I don't think it's going to take but 1 or 2 times max to figure it out. And then obviously we have, we're partnering with Brokers International, and they have a lot of systems that we're about to unleash as far as just training and good practices and support. The support's there. My phone number, do you mind if I give it out?
No.
443-790-9341. They can call me anytime. Like, we are rabid about helping this thing grow because it just makes sense for clients.
Well, I think that's the other part. Look at, like, even when we're talking to brokers, you start looking at the amount of agents we have and the sales force that we have from a consistency standpoint. And I think, it wasn't the first annuity I wrote. One of the annuities I wrote was for my mom.
Yeah.
And kind of like your dad is really proud. So it's not like you're going to come and take care of your dad financially because it's very,
Right.
But my mom has me.
Sure.
But also I do it. But if I wouldn't make any money and it protected her 401k and it's done what it's supposed to do, and, and I can sit back and look at some of the people, at this couple I know really, really well. They're both ridiculously good health. And we're like 55 and 6. And I did the lifetime, and it turns on. They still every year will call me. I have this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know your parents lived until they were 97. So as long as y'all they're like, we're gonna get so much more money than we, and I'm just like, well, that's the way the product structure.
Yeah.
And But I think a big part of it is understanding. I think the other thing that made me comfortable was suitability.
Yeah.
You know, like with a life insurance app, yes, it's electronic. They're going to tell me yes or no. I get it. That's all. But you can't even do the wrong thing.
That's right.
With it because the company check, unless somebody lies.
Sure.
And you do that, you'll get in trouble and you lose your insurance license. But like, as long as you're like, give them all the information, they're going to look at it and go, yep, that's going to benefit Tom's situation or Tina's, or you know what? No, it's not. Like, there's going to be some penalties. There's going to be some stuff involved. We're going to have to pass on that. You don't pass suitability.
Yeah.
Tell the client, hey, it's not suitable. I can't move it with where you're at. Well, that's between you and who has their money now.
Right.
I'm just telling you that we're not able to do that legally. And when I told clients that too, like, you have to pass suitability.
Yeah.
If what I'm doing doesn't benefit you and it harms you anyway, they're going to say no. They're going to come back to you and go, no, man, the fees are too much, the penalties too much.
Yeah.
When you look at where we are as a company, because like you said, you've been here since day one, and please take these guys up on their help. They mean it. We put a phenomenal system in place. We're talking about it on a regular basis. We're not trying to add 3,000 producers a week. So we're trying to go from 100 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Like, that's how you do it.
Yep.
You can add 100 people because, or the alternative is, we can give them to people John Gavin trains and go, hey, here are a bunch of clients that are above the age of 50. They got a life insurance policy a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. Why don't you call them and ask about their annuity needs?
Yeah.
Their retirement. You can sell, and you know what's happening? They're going to sell them over the phone.
Yeah,
They're
right.
going to be like, nobody asked me that. Cool. Love my policy. Happy with my Mutual of Omaha policy. That's cool. It's awesome. But talk to me about this retirement thing, this protection thing. So when you look at from a hiring standpoint, I think that I've always been excited about recruiting because I recruit for other people, not for me.
Yeah.
So my excitement about recruiting has never dwindled a little bit because it's an opportunity to change somebody else's life. I never did it for circles on a board. I was going to make money either way.
Yeah.
But when I saw people, I'm like, dude, like, this could change your life. It might not. But if you put the work in, you have the same opportunities as right. And that's what's beautiful about this business. It doesn't matter where you went to school. It doesn't matter where you didn't go to school. It doesn't matter what your background is. And there's also a lot of people that felt the way you felt. And really, quite frankly, what I felt. When I got into business, it was funny because my first month, I'm like, dude, why are my premiums like $30 a month? Like, I knew the area one, but like 30, and I'm like, why am I not? And I was much more comfortable talking to really broke people.
Yeah.
Because when you sat down and like had family dinner and a house and the kids running around, I was like, dude, I never had that. So I was just kind of like, what the hell's going on? And I was like, I bet they think they're better than me.
Right.
So I have my own insecurities.
Sure.
You know, and it's like, I bet they won't listen to me. I bet they got a guy to help them with everything. And then I just pretty quickly got over that by talking about, I want to help them and serve them. And genuinely I really genuinely don't care what they think. And I'm kind of trying to act like I do, and I don't. But I had my own issues and like anger because people, you know, growing up that had money treated everybody a certain way, didn't have money.
Right.
Like just the way they looked at us, you know what I mean, kind of deal. And they didn't say nothing because they're like part of that first minute been punched in the face.
Right.
I was at a gym one day and they were talking about where I grew. And they're like, yeah, remember when you went to school, we used to call the guys that lived in your apartment the apartment, whatever. As I go, you never did, so our faces on.
Right.
I'm hearing about it now all these years later, bro, in a gym where you're safe and I'm not going to thump you,
Right.
you know? But like, I just always felt that. And I was like, you know what? My man needs $30 a month, $360 a year. He got himself $7,000 on the final expense coverage. He can pay that. Life is good.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. That policy would be $341 a month, mortgage protection. Oh, God. I mean, and then I got over that pretty quickly.
Sure.
I was writing policies that were $1,000 a month. When you see the ability to build a business right now, Family First Life, what has you most excited? You guys are doing a ton of recruiting, ton of infrastructure, ton of amazing things. You've been here all these years, but you're still really excited.
Yeah.
Because you're excited for other people. That's how you are. That's why I gave your number out, the whole deal. What do you see if you were starting today? You're like, man, you've been here 2 months. What would Frank Eufemia 2 months in be doing to scale his business and family?
I literally just took a recruiting call before we got in here. And the gentleman goes, I started with another company, one of our so-called competitors. And he's like, can you tell me what policies y'all have? And legit, that stay on the books the most. That stay in place. He didn't say stay on the books because he was going to term because he's brand new. That stay. Because when I talked to the company, all they were talking about was people canceling chargebacks. I was like, it's all part of the business. So the good news about this is there's 4 quadrants. And this is what we stopped talking about.
I know.
We stopped talking about the 4 quadrants of life insurance: final expense, mortgage protection, IULs, and annuities. I said, Patrick, we do all four. If you do all four, no matter if the mortgage rates are up or down, you can sell mortgage when they're up. When it's down, you can sell IULs. So IULs all the time, you sell final expense. And then annuities are something that people are always going to want because they don't want to lose their money. And most people don't trust the market right now. They haven't for a while. So if you consistently learn how to sell final expenses, consistently write mortgage when the leads are available, when it's popping, consistently write IULs, and consistently ask the question, what do you have that acts like life insurance, IRA, 401k, 403b? And you do that, you'll have all four quadrants, which means your income, instead of it being a roller coaster, which a lot of people in this industry have, it'll be very consistent. And he goes, dude, nobody said that. The guys never said that. They said, I have to sell this product, I have to sell this product, I can't sell this. I said, no, dude, we don't do it that way. And I'm excited because honestly, we talked about four quadrants, but we were really 2.5, you know what I mean? Maybe. But now we're definitely all four. Dude, I'm excited about that because the new people, and Vern and I were just talking about this, the new people don't know any different. So, dude, all the new recruits you have to ask this question in every home.
Right.
If you find somebody, you just come back to me. We'll go over an illustration. I'll help you sell it. And, dude, after 2 or 3 times, you'll be able to do it on your own. And for my guys, like my group, I'm not splitting. I don't need to. You know what I mean? Like, I will help them sell it, help them close it, and they can keep all the money. That's so my goal for this company is, dude, let's find leaders inside of every group and go, hey, who's willing to just help? Because that's how we built this in the day.
No doubt.
Back in the day, dude, you would go, I'm going to have somebody call you. They want to help learn a mortgage specs. Can you help them? My answer was, yeah. My answer wasn't, what do I get out of it, Shawn?
Mm-hmm.
And I think somewhere along the line, we lost a little bit of that. And once we get back to that, it's a wrap because, dude, the more people we help in general, the more you get out of life. And like Jesse's saying, brand new, dude, I send him calls all the time. Like people that are on our team, that are not on our team. I'm like, Jesse, can you help? He's like, yeah. And he just gets it. And he never asks me, what am I getting at? Because he knows what he's getting at. People are starting to know who he is, which benefits him. He's teaching it, which also benefits him. And oh, by the way, he's helping somebody, which too benefits him, right? Mm-hmm. So like, if you're selfish, help because it benefits you too. Right. If you're not selfish, you want to serve, great, it benefits other people as well. And you, by the way, will get something out of it as well.
Well, I think also, to your point, you're right. I think at the end of the day, when it's about other people, which is easy to say, you just keep winning.
That's right.
You know, and I think that for me is, I'm much more excited about people that, you know, kids I coached that turn 18 and call me up and go, hey man, you said I could sell life insurance when I was 18. I'm like, you were 10 when I said that. They're like, yeah, I remember. Mm-hmm. Like, get your license. And then fast forward a year and a half later, it's like, how are you doing? Well, I made myself, you know, $300,000 last year. My lead bill was $60,000. I made $240,000. It's like, wow. You know, that's exciting. It's like, that changes his mother's life, his life, his future family's life, and it's really amazing. So that's why you keep recruiting. But I think you made a great point, Frank, because at the end of the day, one of the things we have to understand is, and we say alleged competitors because if we'll do $1 billion this year. We missed it last year. We'll do $1 billion this year. Nobody's doing $100 million, barely above $100 million. So they're not really competing with us. Right. But one of the things that we've talked a lot about lately is a lot of those deals are just very boutique. I'll do this product. Mm-hmm. I'll do this product. I have this one lead, this one mortgage section lead, and that's it. And we sell term, which is okay, but these guys sell IULs, and the client looks at it and goes, I like this better. So, I mean, you really have to be supplemental products. I mean, anything that's out there, we sell. And I think that was a change for me. Hey, I was your guy 2 quadrants 2 years ago, 7 years ago. Like, boo, let's do these things. I could tell you, well, I did it for this reason. It made sense. It still wasn't a great business decision, right? So now we keep people focused on profitability and serving clients. And I love what you're saying because recruiting, that's why now people are talking about it. Mm-hmm. FFL sells IULs. FFL sells, because there are people that didn't know we sold IULs. That's right. Didn't know we sold annuities. Because we didn't want to talk about it, which is my fault, ultimately. I didn't charge, but it's my fault. But I think I love what you said about helping. When you're talking to people, not just where they're working at now, what is the thing that you're most excited about as it pertains to this industry? When somebody's looking to do something else and they say, Frank, can you tell me why financial services, life insurance, fixed index annuities, why is this the best industry for me to be in? And why do you think?
I think that's why I feel I was trained to do what you did for me. Because had you been a greedy person or somebody that wouldn't do anything, like I wouldn't be here. But you helped me and you had no vested interest. So, dude, the industry is just stable. It doesn't matter what's going on in the economy. It doesn't matter. Like the last 2 years in countrywide have been pretty shaky for a lot of people, but we're still growing. And that tells you that no matter what, if the market's up, dude, people are excited to spend money. So they'll buy life insurance. They'll still invest in annuities because they, a lot of people are at that retirement age and they can't afford to lose. When the market's down, we're going to die at one day or another, right? So life insurance is something that people need. And then, so I don't have to worry about if somebody in DC makes a piss poor decision on a policy. Mm-hmm. It's going to affect my life. It's going to affect my income. That's what happened in the mortgage business. Mm-hmm. Like whatever decisions they made 3-4 years prior to it going kaput nearly put me bankrupt. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of it was my fault. We spent all the money we made. I was young, stupid. But we couldn't control banks closing. So it was just like, dude, if you stay focused in this business, and what I tell every single person I hire, a recruit, Shawn, if you just stick with this long enough to figure it out, it might take you a month. It might take you 6. You just have to stick. And it'll stay. Once you learn it all, just like riding a bike. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can never forget it. It's just, and you get better and better and better every call. If you have a great schedule and lead flow is great, you can't help but get on the phone. Right. It's like if you take a gazillion swings in a batting cage, eventually you're going to learn how to hit a baseball. Better. Right. Yeah. Same thing. But this is easier to hit the baseball.
Yeah, hitting the baseball is hard. Well, I love that. I think that's a great perspective. We're very, very excited about where we are. I'm really excited about where we're going. Yeah. I'm very excited where we are. Don't get that confused. I'm really excited about where we're going.
We're all young people.
Oh my God. It's a force.
They don't even know. What excites me is like, in that, like remember the first conference you went to?
Yeah,
what your financials? Dude, looking out at that crowd and seeing all the new people that raise their hands and knowing probably majority of them are not in a great financial situation and what's coming for them that they don't even know. Right. You know what I mean? It's like, it almost makes you giddy.
That's why the nation is actually caring about other people's success, actually thinking about where they are and actually putting yourself in their shoes. And that's a big part of it. I'll never forget what it felt like to be my first event. Yeah. I'll never forget what it felt like to start to change my family's financial path. And I'll never forget what it's turned into, and I feel like I owe it to everybody around me to share as much as I can. So we can 10X and have enough leads with all the quadrants, with mortgage section and term, or if that's IUL as well, that's your final expense, index universal life, which you're doing with all kinds of companies, massive face amount, structured policies, and fixed index annuities. So you're planning for retirement, protecting retirement, helping plan for your final expenses, and then helping protect that mortgage specifically. I mean, you can't, and then we do health, we got supplemental products, and we offer everything here, and we're really good at everything. Really, that's what's happened. Like we weren't, and because of guys like you and guys and girls that are really good helping out. So, guys, I'm really excited about the cruise. Please get yourself qualified. Don't miss it. Push hard. Watch the leaderboards. It's going to be a plethora of people on the cruise. It'll be great. It'll be great to be around them. Great to talk to them. Great to hear from them. And really excited about what that's going to look like. Annual convention, we're going to put that out. We're going to go back to the same place it looks like. So we're working on that, but it should be Dallas. We're going to have the dates that lock that thing in for a couple of years. Then we're going to start pushing the heck out of that. So we're excited. Blew out of that space last year. So we're going to have to talk about people that registered and didn't show, even though we were sold out. There were other people that showed up and they didn't have. So we got to kind of work through the logistics of that. But we're really excited. Keep watching the training. Frank Eufemia and what he's doing on the FI side, and all those amazing people, Simple Retirement Solutions. What Zach and that amazing crew are doing, the IUL side. There's a lot of people helping out there with Juan and Calvin and all these other amazing people. Debo, there's so many different, and Serge, there's so many different amazing people that are helping out on that side. I don't want to leave anybody out, but I'll probably forget who else was in here doing the IUL. Was Jesse. Yeah.
So we have the SRStrainingcamp.com. Yeah. Not written an IUL, you have to go through the IUL training camp and the annuity training camp to get contracted with the carriers. It's simple. Yeah. It's great training. I even tell people that have been here, they're like, do I have to go through it? I was like, I would. Yeah. Like, what do you have to lose to learn more? Like, there's people doing it different than you could have even thought about. Yeah. So why not just go through it? But it's incredible training. Those guys and girls killing it. It's amazing.
I love it. Hey, I appreciate you joining us today. Send this out to people. Share it. Want people to see this. They need to understand what's going on. It's going to be a great year here in 24. It's going to be the best year Family First Life has ever had in every capacity. the excitement's there, the participation's there, and the desire to see other people win. You learn to sell, you teach somebody to sell, you teach somebody to sell, and it's like now you have a real business. How'd that happen? I just kept doing what I was supposed to be doing. I put the work in, had a schedule. Now my team's doing $500,000 a month. I'm making overrides, I'm selling, I'm doing this. It's an amazing business. So we'll see you all soon. Thanks for jumping on Next Level Live. Frank, love you, appreciate you, man. Thanks for being here. See you.
All right, everyone, thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out True Talk this coming Tuesday at 8 a.m. with Marco Trujillo, who will also be on next week's TNL training, so make sure you tune into both. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay up to date on all things FFL. We'll see you all next week.